Good day, runners. This is Coach Peter Pym for the week of June 3rd, 2013. Thank you, Muse. I was at their last concert here in Toronto, and they killed. And speaking of concerts, Rolling Stones played the ACC last night in Toronto, and although they didn't kill, apparently they lived. Right on, Keith. So it's Friday, and I'm enjoying my first of just 2 cups of coffee for the day. I got up with the sun. Actually, I got up with those crazy early birds. I think there's 2 or 3 birds that reside in the trees just outside my place. And they let everyone know the sun is rising. And yep, the sun rises. And if I don't get up with the sun, then my next alarm are the industrial bands. You see, I live in downtown Toronto, and our lovely city, Rob Ford's city, is trying to set a world record for the most number of condominiums ever built in a city. And 3 are under construction within 200 meters from my cave. So every weekday morning about 7 o'clock, it's like the 9 Inch Nails concert with a bunch of Freddy Kruegers banging on pipes and smashing wood. It's just brutal. Anyway, enough of that. It's been a fun week. Last weekend I was at Mount Albert with a group of clients who were running a 5K run, which I had the pleasure of measuring. They did well. Jillian Tweedy was the first overall woman, and she kept the guys honest because she was 3rd overall in the race. She had a PB time of 17:56, and a 71-year-old Gary McColeman finished 3rd in the 60-plus category in 27 minutes and change. So we all had a great time, lots of draw prizes and good bites afterwards. Damn, those Cobb Bakery rolls rule, man. So a shout out to Jen Mark, the race director, for putting on a really good show. I've always personally loved the small out-of-the-city races that have around 200 or 300 runners, although these days, the way the races are inflating, they're getting harder and harder to find, it seems. But I know loads of you love the big city races that have thousands, and you don't mind paying the big bucks to enter, you know, like $30 for an early registration, and then more for the next entry deadline, and then about 10% of your will for the late entry, just for the pleasure of standing half naked, sometimes in cold and rainy weather, in a corral, and the starter's gun or horn sounds, and you still may be standing there for minutes and minutes. So it can be asked, do you get your money's worth in these big mega races? Well, sort of pertinent to this was a few weeks ago I did an interview with Michael Doyle of the Canadian Running Magazine. He's doing an article which is going to be coming out in the next issue, I believe, and it's dealing with so many recent races, and he's wondering why so many recent races are having execution problems. Well, there's no question about that, but I pointed out that there's always been situations where problems arise. I mean, off the top, I can think of a number of great examples where there's been problems for various reasons. I can recall back in the late 60s at the Guelph Thanksgiving Day road races, a hysterically funny, well, it was funny to me, situation. There was this 10-mile race that was partially road and cross-country. And cross-country, by that I mean like farmers' fields. And the finish line was at an intersection. And at the end of the race, runners were approaching the finish line from all 4 directions. Marshals. And how about last month at the Sporting Life 10K in Toronto? Many of the 21,000 finishers had to stop and stand well before the finish line due to a blocked road preventing the earlier finishers from clearing the area. Then there was the 2012 Whistler Half Marathon, which was 1.2 kilometers, do you believe it? 1.2 kilometers short due to a measurement error. And the 2012 Oakville Half Marathon was long due to the organizers mismeasuring an adjustment due to construction. But how about this? Back in the 80s, the runners were running close to a 3-hour marathon in the Toronto Marathon, and they were stopped by a train for quite a number of minutes. I think it was around the halfway point. Some frustration that day, that's for sure. The same thing happened at the Around the Bay race. A few years ago, a bridge went up to let a ship pass, and this year at the same race, many runners had to be stopped by a train. Another train. Also, in the past few years, runners have been led astray by lead bikers or vehicles at the National Capital and Mississauga marathons. And I experienced this sort of issue myself in 1980. I was at the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C., and the lead vehicle, the police vehicle, led us off course, making us run about 600 meters short. We didn't know it at the time. So when I crossed the finish line, the clock read 2:23 and change, but when we got our certificates, it showed the clock times with an asterisk, and at the bottom of the certificate, it showed your prorated adjusted time. So I was given a time of 2:25 and change instead. I've got that certificate